Okay, the action begins now on TalkSport 2, EFL Championship, live from Carrow Road, Norwich City against Blackburn Rovers. Two teams fairly low down the championship table. Norwich start this game in 17th, Blackburn just above them in 15th place. Norwich in their customary yellow and green, Blackburn in blue and white halves. And Norwich will be defending the Barclay end away to our left in the first half. You can assume that they won the toss because they like to attack that end in the second half. Blackburn will be playing from right to left in what is a pretty full Carrow Road Stadium on this Sunday lunchtime. Mike Saul and Dean Ashton for commentary. And it's Norwich who get this underway with their captain Kenny McLean already being put under pressure inside the centre circle. Thankfully, we don't have any heavy rain, even though it is pretty chilly here and cloudy. And already Blackburn pressing very high up the pitch, but it's allowed Gabriel Sara on this near side, just short of the halfway line. Although he's played a very loose pass straight to Sammy Schmodix, just inside the Norwich half, towards this near side, and then it's won back by the Canaries and spread to the far side, the left, where Hernandez is waiting. And eventually, Rankin Costello clears up the line. Norwich need to settle early from a home point of view.
Yeah, they certainly do, but as expected, Blackburn looking to press, and actually Schmodix has gone alongside Dolan, almost in a front two, and I think that is then to put pressure on the two centre-backs when that ball's going to be played out by the Norwich goalkeeper Long.
It's with the Blackburn goalkeeper at the moment, Leopold Wallstedt, Swede, just knocking the ball between the defenders and eventually playing it to the far side. Their right is picked up by Norwich just outside the area. Nunez goes for a long-range effort, which is high and over Wallstedt's crossbar.
Yeah, speculative effort, poorly executed.
Goal kick to Blackburn. Sorry, Dean.
Interesting that Norwich looking to press, actually. They haven't done that as much as probably in previous seasons.
Very dangerously inside the penalty area, Blackburn, to the point where Kenny McLean was almost on the 6-yard box putting pressure onto Wallstedt.
And I think when you're at home especially, something like that I think can lift the crowd, can give them the feeling that at least you're trying to put the pressure on the opposition.
2 minutes played, Norwich 0, Blackburn 0. A Norwich win could see them rise as high as 12th in the table. Blackburn could move into the top 10 if they were to win here. But in contrast, the Norwich defeat, depending on the number of goals, could see them drop to 18th. Blackburn have it, left edge of the penalty area in front of us. Schmodix goes for the long-range curler from the angle of the penalty area, and they win a throw-in on this near side. It's taken quickly. Moran into Pickering. Now Schmodix on this left side towards the dead ball line, crosses in low. Norwich comfortably deal with it through Warner and then Rowe, and eventually Stacey plays it up this side. Wang does really well to get a touch on the ball at full stretch. That goal he scored against Sunderland last week, Dean, will have given him a huge amount of confidence.
It will do, yeah. I mean, obviously they've missed Sargent and Barnes, and they're looking for a player to sort of step up and own the shirt at the moment in that forward area. Obviously he's got to lead the line, get the ball in, take that in, and then you've got the pace of Hernandez and Rowe either side of him.
Long ball down the far side, which is the Norwich left. Dimitris Giannoulis has won the throw-in, about 15 yards inside the Blackburn half on that far side of the field. We await a goal here, early stages of this match on TalkSport 2, as the sun begins to come out in the Norfolk skies. McLean, midway inside his own half, directly in line with where we're sitting in the main stand. Forward it goes, cut out by Blackburn, one back by McLean. Heads towards the halfway line. He's got a willing runner in Giannoulis down the left. Now Hernandez also, but McLean's going it alone, and he tries to prod it through for Hwang. Blackburn repel that attack and now have it in the right back position. Both teams pressing quite hard against the opponents in their attacking third so far, Dean.
Yeah, they are, and once they've played through, that's when they then start to drop. But it's that initial press for the first pass that's either played into midfield or played out to one of the centre-backs that both team. Norwich won it back.
Here's Rowe just outside the area, gets the return from Hwang. It's going to run through for Stacey on the right. He clips in the cross. Nunez, not the tallest of the Norwich players. Rowe on the volley from the rebound, and Blackburn clear their lines through Smodics, but then hand it back to Norwich again. The battle is on in midfield, won by Blackburn, crossing the halfway line on the far side now. 3 Blackburn players coming forward, Norwich retreating. Dolan out to the far side. We're midway inside Norwich territory. Tronstad has to check and go back towards the halfway line, and James Hill, who's had a really good season so far for Blackburn. We've had 5 minutes of play and it remains goalless. Norwich win back possession, quickly try and transition into attack, but the ball towards Hwang is too strong. Rovers in possession again. 10 yards inside the Norwich half. Tronstad, Smodics then into the centre circle towards this side, the left. Pickering with a nice low ball caressed into the feet of Andrew Moran. Blackburn being very patient.
They are, but I think also Norwich are allowing that. Dolan, lovely little position that he's picking up. Him and Smodics at the moment, difficult to get hold of because of the positions. Neither of them are playing as centre forwards, but just dropping off into that position between Norwich's back line and the midfield area.
Blackburn have a throw, or the referee wants them to go back towards the halfway line. They've won 3 of their last 4 league games, Rovers, and they've won their last 2 away from home, which is in complete contrast to Norwich at home, because they've lost their last 2. So form would suggest that an away win might be a possibility today. So far, though, no clear-cut chances in the opening 6 minutes.
But I think with Norwich's defensive record and how poor they've been, effectively they're, in the relegation zone in terms of defensive stats, they've been that poor. It doesn't surprise me that they're sat very deep in a very congested, organised manner early on. They've got to get hold and get to grips with the defensive side. And okay, even at home in front of your own supporters, if you have to do that, especially for the first part of the game, and maybe look to counter-attack, then you have to.
They've scored 25 goals, Norwich, which is a really good return, but then you move across to the goals against column, 27 against in the league. That's more than Blackburn have conceded. Blackburn have it at the moment, inside the Norwich half. Not really much to comment on, as players been contained on that far side in the midfield areas. Forward by Tronstad, and it's back into Dolan. Norwich not been able to get on the ball at the moment. Blackburn quite happy just to knock it around at the back. Both managers are standing inside their technical areas. John Dahl Thomason nearest us, and David Wagner. Blackburn are in here. A shot and a goal, and Blackburn Rovers take the lead after 7.5 minutes, and it's Tyrese Dolan with the goal. Norwich split in defence. Plenty of space for Dolan, who fired it past George Long, and that small bank of Rovers fans in the corner across from us are jubilant, because it's Norwich 0, Blackburn 1.
Exactly the start that Norwich City didn't want. But once again, defensively, they have been found wanting. It's a simple goal. And I talked about Smodics and Dolan, and it's Dolan picking up a great position, not being picked up by Gabriel Zara or by Duffy in defence. It's a great ball as well from Rankin Costello, fired into the feet of Dolan, who takes one touch away from Duffy. He can't sort his feet out, and then Warner comes across. He just can't get there in time. I tell you what a finish this is from Dolan, arrowing it past the goalkeeper into the top corner.
Tyrese Dolan's second goal of the season. He scored in the corresponding game last season when Blackburn won 2-0 here. He got a late goal in that game. He's got a very early goal just after the 7-minute mark. Rovers take the lead.
And it's just that lack of sensing danger from Norwich City as Rowe picks up the ball.
Given away at the back by Blackburn inside the area. Rowe sends it in. It's behind Hwang. Right-hand angle of the box away to our right with Jonathan Rowe again. He goes back towards the touchline on this near side. Stacey to Marcelino Nunez. exchanges passes with McLean. I said that the natives are restless before kick-off, but they're going to want a response here. Hernandez, edge of the area, on the far side, the left, he can't keep his feet. Strong challenge coming in from Joe Rankin Costello to concede the throw on the far side.
Yeah, he can be a frustrating player. Ronald Hernandez gets the fans off of their seats, but far too often he sits them back down again with either the wrong choice of pass or a lack of quality. But when he's good, he's excellent.
Long ball forward looking for Huang on the full stretch to try and get it. Blackburn under pressure in the corner, clear towards the halfway line where Warner is waiting in front of us. Forced back by Schmodix all the way through to George Long, who is celebrating his 30th birthday today. The Norwich City goalkeeper, dressed in salmon pink. Not really my colour. I don't think we'd ever seen you in salmon pink, would we?
I'm pretty sure no. He'll be gutted as well already to have lost that clean sheet, but it was a brilliant finish.
Here come Norwich on the attack. Rowe charging towards the penalty area. Sara then tries to curl one with a first-time shot, and it goes over the crossbar and into the crowd. So 10 minutes played at Carrow Road on TalkSport 2. Norwich 0, Blackburn 1. Tyrese Dolan with the goal after 8 minutes. Just to tell you that on Monday night, Tottenham against Chelsea in the Premier League is a TalkSport exclusive. Adrian Durham will be presenting, commentary from Sam Matterface and the former Tottenham and Fulham midfielder Danny Murphy. Blackburn come forward down the far side, their right. Hernandez back defending into the area to Duffy. Duffy gets booed by the away fans. That was predicted. Spent a couple of years at Rovers. Schmodix can't control it on the edge of the Norwich area, and away come the home team. Lots of space for Onel Hernandez to run into. He's in the Blackburn half now, midway inside enemy territory. Now it's with Huang, who has strayed offside, quite clearly offside even from the angle we're at, and we're midway inside the Norwich half.
Yeah, it was because Hernandez took an age to play the ball. He made a really good run actually. Huang arced his run in behind, and Hernandez just took too long. It was a simple pass, but he just didn't make sure that he helped his centre forward out, who'd made a good run.
Tuesday on TalkSport 2, Dortmund-Newcastle in the Champions League. Sam and former Newcastle manager Alan Pardew will be commentating on that game. Here come Blackburn. Oh my goodness me, they're striding forward here, right edge of the area with Schmodix. Turned into Warner. Good play by the young defender on his league debut, because Norwich at that point were very stretched.
They were. It was an excellent piece of defending from the young defender. Jaden Warner just came across, didn't commit himself, which was important because Schmodix was trying to do that little Cruyff chop that Cristiano Ronaldo almost made his own. And he didn't fall for it. He stood his ground, intercepted, and won his team a throw-in. But once again, 3 passes was all it took to get at that Norwich backline and expose that midfield area and lack of pace.
Well, that was an element that Leeds capitalised on when they came here a few weeks ago. 2-0 down at half-time. Leeds came back to win 3-2, and their transition from defence to attack was electrifying.
Yeah, it's definitely an area that's been hurting Norwich this season, is that genuine lack of pace through the middle of the pitch, defensively and in transition. When they lose the ball, they look so vulnerable.
1-0 Blackburn lead. Sara down the far side for Norwich. Ball is put out of play by Blackburn, right on the halfway line. It's going to be a throw-in taken by the Greek fullback Dimitris Giannoulis down the line in a congested area, and Blackburn cut it out and immediately turn it into attack. Here's the goal scorer, Dolan, edge of the area to the left now. First time shot coming in from Andrew Moran. Good block at close range by the Norwich defence, but again they were exposed, and Blackburn have possession on the halfway line.
Yeah, that was poor defending actually this time from Jaden Warner. Just committed himself, thinking he could win it in front of Dolan, who just took it to the side of him and exposed the young centre-back there. Luckily, Stacey was back to make a really good block from Moran, who was attempting the shot.
Blackburn looking very composed at the moment, as you might expect. They have the advantage given to them by the 7th minute goal by Tyrese Dolan. Norwich with it now. Stacey on this near side in the right back position. Rowe forced to go to his centre-back, Jaden Warner, and then all the way through to the birthday boy, George Long. Now it's with Duffy, who's left it for Giannoulis. Two Blackburn players go across to cut out the move. Eventually Blackburn do win it back, and they have it with Tronstad. This is good football from Blackburn. Lovely one-touch play coming in from the right wing. Well read by Kenny McLean. Norwich now turning defence into attack. McLean invites Hernandez to make the run, but Rankin Costello is comfortably there ahead of him, and it's all the way through to Wallstead.
Yeah, you've got to know your players there. I mean, Hernandez is quick, but I would say he's sharp over the first 5 yards, whereas just playing it in behind, Joe Rankin Costello could easily make it. Oh, it's a great pass.
Schmodix is in here, edge of the area, out comes Long, 2-0 Blackburn Rovers. The boos ring around Carrow Road from the majority of the fans, but that small pocket of Rovers fans are up on their feet again, because their leading goal scorer, Sammy Schmodix, has made it Norwich 0, Blackburn 2, and we've had 15 minutes of play.
You cannot really complain about the boos. I mean, that is just woeful defending from Norwich's point of view. I said it only a minute or so ago. 2-3 passes and they are through Norwich's midfield and in towards the defence. How on earth Sammy Schmodix is completely free on his own on the left-hand side to walk through and just coolly caress it with the inside of his right foot, pass Long, just low, past the goalkeeper's left foot, simple finish, just one pass and they were through, totally exposed, and Schmodix, cool as you like, 2-0.
Where's Stacey? Where's the right back?
The right back's in midfield, and that was the issue. He'd stepped into midfield for some sort of reason, huge space for the young centre-backs to cover. He wasn't aware actually of Schmodix and where he was, and it was too late.
An 8th league goal of the season for Sammy Schmodix. It's his 5th away from home. And you can hear sack the board ringing out around Carrow Road. They're unhappy with the manager, they're not happy with the board either. And now they're having to come back from 2-0 down. Right edge of the area with Jack Stacey taking on his marker. He wins the corner. But there's a lot of discontent.
There is, yeah. It seems to be a particular song about Stuart Webber at the moment. They've not been happy with Stuart Webber for a while.
Stuart Webber is the Norwich sporting director who will be leaving the club towards the end of this season. The new man, Ben Napper's coming in the next few weeks. Norwich have a corner from the right, in-swinging left footer from the Brazilian midfielder Gabriel Sara. Rowe picks it up inside the area, tries to find some room to pull a teammate into the play. And it's played forward towards the halfway line, and Giannoulis has to see it all the way back to George Long in the Norwich goal. What a terrible start for the home team and a brilliant start for Blackburn.
Well, Blackburn knew if they could get that first goal, what would happen here. They would have worked on it, they would have expected it, and it's probably planned out exactly as they would have liked. John Dole Thomason must be thinking, well, it was easier than I thought, to be honest. All we've got to do is win the ball back, a couple of passes, and we're in. And it's almost like the Norwich fans now, they're not even interested in the game. It's more about what they want to sing towards the board and the players.
Norwich have possession by the corner flag on this near side. Away to our right, good work by Hwang to the dead ball line. He plays it in, but he couldn't get an angle to cut it back, and it went straight into the arms of Leopold Wallstead in the Blackburn goal.
I tell you what, it takes big characters now, really does, to be able to sense the support, hear the chants, and still be able to stand up and say, actually no, we've got to try and lift ourselves as players.
Long ball forward by Blackburn into the Norwich half, leading by 2-0 Rovers. Dolan and Schmodix with goals inside the first 15 minutes. You're listening to TalkSport 2 live from Carrow Road, EFL Championship football, with me, Mike Sewell, and Dean Ashton, former Norwich striker, who I bet wishes he could be out there now trying to get Norwich back into this game.
Not sure.
Stacey down the line looking for Sara, but it's gone all the way through for Sondre Tronstad. And then Wellstead comfortably into the feet of Adam Wharton. It's a long ball over the top. This is route one. It might be quite effective because Blackburn are in again here. It's been squared in. Smodics is on for a second, but he couldn't get any power as the ball dropped out of the sky. And as you can hear in the background, the boos from the Hoe fans are ringing round Carrow Road again.
I mean, it doesn't get much easier than that. Callum Britton just draws Yanulis out of position, and then from that right-back position, Rankin Casella just runs in behind. Hernandez doesn't follow him, and he's in. Pretty much 1v1 if his touch should have been better. In the end, it wasn't a great touch to start with, so he then hooked it over his head towards Smodics, who couldn't quite control it into his path. Just had a stab at the ball, and it was an easy save for Long. But wow, that was so easy to be in behind the Norwich defence.
Their discipline. Well, there isn't any.
But I'm not picking out just Shane Duffy, but he's the most experienced player in that back line. Why isn't he now screaming and shouting to his players and his midfield players, you get yourself back in here now for at least the next 5 or 10 minutes. We are going to be really tight, really solid. We'll just try and hit Blackburn on the break, because you can't just continue as players when you know it's not working.
Warner in possession of the ball. 20 minutes played at Carrow Road. Norwich 0, Blackburn 2. Sara has it, looking for options, waving his hands around.
I absolutely hate that. Absolutely hate that as a player. When players do that, that's for the supporters. They're doing that to almost say to the supporters, I've got the ball, but look, no one's showing for me. I just think that's really, really poor.
It's gone via Long out to Duffy on the far side, who again gets the boos from the away fans. Had 2 years at Blackburn before he moved to Brighton. Long ball straight down centre field by Sara, and Hwang is onto it in the area. The angle is acute though, he's going to need some support. He cuts it back for Stacey. He then goes in towards the penalty spot, but Norwich lose track of the ball, and Hwang is now behind the hoardings behind the goal, because he made such an effort to get to the ball. And now Blackburn on the counter, and it's Smodics down this near side. He's got two players to his left, to his right should I say, and one of them is Callum Britton, who, had he not been blocked by a Norwich defender, would have had a clear shot on goal.
Oh, I mean, again, totally opened up Norwich City on the break. And the problem is, the defenders are getting drawn to the ball. Rather than just getting back into a good position and organised, they're being drawn in towards the ball, bypassed by one pass or a bit of skill, and then they're out of the game. Rather than sitting in and helping each other, totally exposed. And actually, it's a brilliant diving challenge from Duffy. Otherwise, that would have been 3-0. And look, this is a really difficult atmosphere, because every time Blackburn have an attack, there's audible boos ringing around Carrow Road.
Blackburn with a corner, looking to extend the lead that they already have. 2 goals it is as we approach the midway point of the first half. Referee Josh Smith is just in conversation with Hill and Hwang. Hwang marking Hill. The corner has harmlessly come out to this near side for a Blackburn throw, which Tronstadt takes quickly.
I mean, I would even say you've got Danny Bart on the bench, someone with so much experience, was superb for Sunderland. Get him on, make an early change, say to the support, I admit we're wrong, it doesn't look right.
Maybe isn't that the problem? Why the coach would not want to do that for that very reason?
But I think you've just got to sometimes do what's right, and right now Norwich need an extra defender in that position. Go and put Danny Bart right in the middle, go to a back three, be more of a counter-attack inside, because at the moment it is a bit embarrassing, to be honest.
Just noticed something there. This might be part of the reason why Norwich are getting caught. McLean and Sara going up together to press with the attacking players, leaving a huge hole in midfield.
But also both the fullbacks go at the same time when they're attacking. Both of the fullbacks will be really high, and you're exposing your two centre-backs 1v1.
And here come Blackburn again on the halfway line, coming towards this near side, and a fairly cynical trip by Onel Hernandez is going to earn him a yellow card.
Yeah, I mean, that's just frustration, that's all that is. Again, he was beaten, he's way out of position. Obviously he's been playing on the left hand side. I think he's come over to the right as that attack was happening, which shouldn't really be what's going on, and then it's a silly little trip.
Free kick taken. Blackburn lead by 2-0. This is TalkSport 2 coming to you live from Carrow Road. Blackburn have been very, very composed and confident, moving through the gears out towards the far side with Britton on the angle of the penalty area. It's an early ball in, which had Smodix read that, he might have been able to get onto it.
Yeah, nobody read that. That's why I think because there wasn't really the gap to play the cross, no one was expecting it. It actually went through the defender's legs and then ended up looking like a brilliant ball, but you wouldn't be ready for that as a forward. You just wouldn't have expected it.
Goal kick for Norwich, which Long, who's not having a great birthday so far, takes down centre field. Rowe goes up with Scott Wharton. Wharton wins that header and it's easily through to Wallstedt. Dolan and Schmodix with the goals, the early goals for Blackburn Rovers, who won by the same scoreline in the corresponding fixture last season. In fact, they beat Norwich here twice. They beat them in the FA Cup third round as well, although they did lose at home in the league, again by 2-0. Duffy down the far side, the Norwich left. Sara further down the line for Rowe, who switched flanks with Hernandez. Rowe takes on his man. It's put out of play by Rankin Costello.
Just gone a bit early, Jonathan Rowe there. A little bit of inexperience in his in the run that he made. But you're looking in Blackburn at a side that really understands the way that the manager wants them to play, the interchanging of positions, the way they're running off the ball, which is what's causing Norwich so many problems.
Just to add to the note about the commentary on TalkSport 2 on Tuesday, Dortmund, Newcastle, Atletico Madrid play Celtic on Tuesday night. That's on TalkSport. Adrian Durham will be presenting. As we welcome listeners from TalkSport to Carrow Road, where it's Norwich 0, Blackburn Rovers 2. Norwich attacking the goal away to our right in the first half, but the goals have come at the other end to the left, and on Blackburn have won it back inside Norwich territory with the score of the second goal, Sammy Schmodix. Britton lays it off to the first goal scorer, Dolan, who dragged it back looking to find some space for a shot. Norwich very wasteful there, giving away the ball inside their own half. Blackburn very efficient so far. Dolan, far side of the field near the corner flag. Duffy wins the throw off Dolan, and Norwich have possession back.
Yeah, I mean, look, as a former Norwich City player, it's sad to see the state of the team at the moment. They've been absolutely dreadful defensively. They've been wide open when they lose the ball. They look scared in possession, and Blackburn have taken full advantage. They've looked excellent, especially Dolan and Schmodix. They've been super sharp up there.
Norwich tried to come forward, but immediately it's cut out by Rovers. And again, given away, this time by Yanulis. It's over on the far side of the field with Blackburn. Angle of the penalty area. Chance for an early shot, which is blocked by Sara. Out to the far side for Dolan. Goes around his man. I think he knew he was offside because he took a while. He hesitated before getting the ball. And he was waiting for the flag. It didn't go up as soon as he touched it.
I think he was hoping that the referee's assistant would have told him before he even put the flag up, just to say, don't bother. I think that's what he's trying to say to the assistant, Tyrese Dolan.
Yeah, give me a heads up, please. We're watching David Wagner, folded arms, standing, watching on intently. He is the man under pressure at the moment, as well as the Norwich board. At the moment, they're heading for a third consecutive home defeat in the league. Lost 7 of their last 10 league games. They had a decent start to the season, but it all went wrong in October.
Yeah, it did. It's since Barnes and Sargent have been injured, they haven't looked the same side. And I'm talking about even just pressing from the front. Those two players were excellent. Again, a ball over the top.
Down the far side of the field with Callum Britton. He's got Yanulis for company near the corner flag. Blackburn attacking the goal away to the left, leading by 2-0 as we approach the half-hour mark. Dolan, who opened the scoring inside 8 minutes. Back to Hill. Hill then carefully down the line. It's a first-time layoff, which is read by Gabriel Sara. Eventually Norwich get the throw-in. They're struggling to get out of their own half now, Norwich.
Yeah, I mean, there's no particular patterns of play because they're now scared to play into midfield because Blackburn have been so good at pressing. So you might have to go a little bit, again, where's the communication saying, look, we're just going to clip it into our forwards. There's a great ball from the goalkeeper.
Dropped into midfield onto the feet of Nunez. Now it's for Stacey, just shy of the halfway line. Back into Nunez again, who has time to look around. He's got Hernandez down the right flank with the ball now, looking towards the dead ball line, back to the corner of the penalty area. Nunez lifts it to the far post. No one's there. Despite that, though, Wallstedt drops the ball in front of him. Thankfully, from his point of view, there was no one loitering.
But that was better play, getting out wide towards Hernandez. If he's not going to beat his man 1v1, lovely little layoff towards Nunez. Poor ball in, though, floated too high, and Wallstedt almost just trying to entertain himself at the moment.
Blackburn have it in the centre circle. It's played down the middle. Across comes Giannoulis. There's an offside flag. It's gone up. And it's lifted into the net in the end by Joe Rankin-Costello, who gets a yellow card for doing so. That shows how fluid Blackburn are. The right back's gone forward into the striker's position.
I think probably because they've got sort of two right backs playing over on that side in Britain and Rankin-Costello, that's what they're doing. And it's confusing Giannoulis, and at the moment it's Jonathan Rowe on that side as to which player do I, go and defend against.
Norwich have it on the far side, midway inside Blackburn territory with Nunez. Across to the D. Hwang tees up a shot which takes a deflection off a defender and spins up into the body of Wallstedt. And there are some ironic cheers from the home fans because, if I'm not mistaken, that might be Norwich's first shot on target.
Yes, it is. I mean, it's really difficult, isn't it? As players, you can sense the jokey nature of that applause from the Norwich City fans, but actually it was really good play from Nunez, just turning, swivelling, playing it into his centre forward, who just come away from his centre back. Nice little turn. Sting was taken out of the shot by the deflection, but still had to work the goalkeeper.
Norwich still trail though by 2-0. You're listening to us live on TalkSport and TalkSport 2 from Carrow Road, EFL Championship football. Hwang, good ball out to this near side, the right, just in from the touchline. Stacey comes infield, looking for options. One of them is Sara. Back out to the near side again. Hwang, who's dropped deep, down the line for Stacey. About 10 yards outside the penalty area. Then it's into the feet of Sara. Norwich forced back towards the halfway line, though, as Blackburn regroup. Very well disciplined formation that's just shifting it as one, like waves on the ocean. Here's Hernandez, just inside the right angle of the area, gets away from his man towards the byline. He clips it to the back post. Giannoulis was looking at trying a first-time volley. The ball didn't carry through, though. Norwich come again. Nunez. 13 minutes plus stoppage time left of the first half. Duffy, low ball in, which is read by Adam Wharton. And now it's with Hwang. Out to the near side, the right. Stacey inside the Blackburn half. It's a good cross in, and the header towards goal is straight into the arms of Wallstedt, and it was Marcelino Nunez with the header.
Yeah, and that's his job, playing just an advanced midfielder. He's getting the box when that ball's going to be delivered. It was a decent ball as well from Stacey, just guiding that one in. Not too much pace, but allowing Nunez to go and attack it. Good defensive nudge from Hill, actually, just as he was about to head it.
Offside against Tyrese Dolan on the far side, the flag going up straight away as he tried to get away from Shane Duffy. Don't forget, you can get all the fallout of the weekend's results on EFL All Access tomorrow night at 6 o'clock on TalkSport 2. Hugh Woostencroft and Adrian Clark have an exclusive interview with the new QPR head coach, Marty Cifuentes, after his tenure at Loftus Road got underway with a 1-1 draw at Rotherham yesterday. We're here at Carrow Road, though, with Norwich trailing 2-0, looking to get back into the game. Stacey, edge of the area, shot comes in, and it just squirms wide of the far post from Onel Hernandez. Good work by Stacey to the edge of the area. I wouldn't say he pulled it, it just got the accuracy slightly off, because if he'd have found the corner, it would have been 2-1.
Oh, it was a great effort from Onel Hernandez. He just tucked it inside and allowed Stacey to go on the outside. Lovely little control and flick inside, laid it in towards Hernandez, and we had a perfect view from where we are, directly in line of Hernandez and that far post, and you could just see it just arc away.
Hwang doing a really good job of holding up the play, but no one else picking up the loose ball as Blackburn have it. It's been the best spell of the first half for Norwich. Not been much to shout about in general, but Blackburn again looking for the gap, and Schmodix cut out by Hernandez. Sara in midfield, back to his captain McLean, and now the former Blackburn defender Duffy. Norwich inside their own half, coming towards this near side, into the feet of Jaden Warner. In for the injured Ben Gibson. Warner up towards Hernandez, uses his strength to get there ahead of his man. Norwich forced back again though due to the press by Blackburn. They're very organised, aren't they? When I was watching them earlier, they were all shifting as one. Yeah, but Norwich have started to almost gain a little bit of confidence and are playing the ball a bit quicker, trying to test Blackburn. Here's Rowe, gets away from his man towards the penalty area, now the right-hand side of the box. Stacey, the cross is clipped in, but it's far too strong, far too high, and it lands in the river end away to our right. Yeah, but they're getting some joy down the right-hand side for Norwich City. Stacey's staying very, very wide. Hernandez tucked in, and then Jonathan Rowe came across, actually, to join the attack there. It was a great ball out towards Stacey, and just a terrible, terrible cross. He didn't have any pressure on him, and he just dug it underneath and over the top. 10 minutes to half-time. Blackburn 2 goals to the good. Just saw John Dahl Thomason, the Blackburn manager, with a bit of paper he'd taken out of his pocket, showing Sammy Schmodix something tactical, maybe a little shift of tactics, given that Norwich have had a better 5 to 10 minutes. Warner to find Duffy on the halfway line. Norwich moving forward. Sara picks it up. Now it's with Nunez dropping deep into the centre circle, and it's sent long towards the right side. Stacey brings it down comfortably. Down the line for Warner again. It's his slow, patient build-up from Norwich, but they are being forced back. They're not really making any yardage, to use an American football term. No, it's neat and tidy, isn't it? It's this right-hand side, though, where the space is for Norwich. Here they go now down centre field. McLean going it alone to the left edge of the area. Yanulis, oh, he couldn't get it. Got a toe to the ball, but then it just ran away from him and harmlessly out for a goal kick. At least the Norwich supporters at least applauding that good bit of football from Norwich City. It's just been that last little bit of quality from them in this last 10-minute period to try and get themselves a goal before half-time. Talking of yardage and American football terms, we'll be bringing you coverage of the Miami Dolphins against the Super Bowl champions, the Kansas City Chiefs, on TalkSport 2 from 2 o'clock. That's the Frankfurt Stadium in Germany. NFL returning. Here, with the round ball version of football, the traditional game, a beautiful game. Although if you're a Norwich City fan, you won't be saying it's a beautiful game at the moment, because they trail by 2 goals to nil. Blackburn in command thanks to goals by Dolan and Schmodix, and they're looking for a third here. Cut out by McLean, who then apologises for the initial mistake. But that just shows, doesn't it? Kenny McLean drops in between the 2 centre-backs who spread nice and wide. Kenny McLean goes to play that into midfield. He loses it. He is then exposed on his own in the middle of that defence. And if that ball had been better there, Dolan or Schmodix, they could have chosen either of them, would have been in. Now Norwich are in, down the near side. Stacey away from his man. He has time to look up from the right edge of the area. He cuts it back. The shot came in, but Blackburn defend it well from Hernandez, and it fires out for a throw-in on the near side. That was a promising moment. Again, had all the space and the time. Stacey had his head up looking. Wasn't a lot of options, to be honest. Hernandez tried to get in front of that near post and was a bit late in the movement, but there was only 2 in there. There was only Hernandez and Hwang that were in there. That's not enough, really, to make it difficult for Blackburn. There's another TalkSport exclusive commentary coming on Tuesday night in the Championship. Rotherham against Norwich's arch rivals Ipswich. Commentary from Mark Wilson and the former Sheffield United women's striker Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. That's an 8 o'clock kickoff on Tuesday night, exclusively on TalkSport 2. You're listening to us on TalkSport and TalkSport 2, live from Carrow Road, where it's Norwich 0, Blackburn 2. Ball forward from Warner is straight through to Wallstead. We've got 6.5 minutes plus stoppage time to the break. Blackburn coming forward through Adam Wharton. Sorry, Dave.
Impressive young player, isn't he, Adam Wharton? Only 19 years old. Just looks at ease with that ball on his left foot.
Norwich have possession though, out on the far side, deep inside Blackburn territory with Yanulis into Hwang. Just waits, assesses his options and then goes back to Duffy. It's now with Warner towards this near side, back across again towards the left, and Sara, a good 30 yards from goal. Sara to the corner of the penalty area. Hernandez then out wide to Yanulis, back into the Brazilian, but it's come loose and is picked up by the aforementioned Wharton. And now Dolan inside the Norwich half on the right. Lovely little back heel, even though the ball in the end goes out for a Norwich throw-in.
I think that can be the issue as well. Norwich look like they've got easy possession, but they're very, very slow. The build-up is pedestrian from Norwich City, and then Blackburn are just waiting. They're waiting for that one tiny mistake, and then they look to spring the attack. They're just so easy to play against Norwich because they've not got that pace to their play.
And it's been evident in the last few weeks. 2 defeats at home against Leeds and Middlesbrough, just a few days apart, and they're looking at the moment, they're heading for a 3rd straight home defeat, with Blackburn leading by 2-0.
Almost as if Blackburn have just eased right off. Their intensity was excellent early on. I'm not too sure why they've sort of taken their foot off, but I think they've kind of let Norwich off a little bit. They had them completely scrambled, and they've just sat off a little bit more and made it easy for them.
Norwich, well, for want of a better word, were a shambles defensively in the first 15 minutes when the 2 goals were scored. They seem to have organised themselves a little bit better now, but then, as you say, Blackburn have not pressed as hard as they did. This was what we half expected, though, Blackburn to maybe take the game to Norwich initially, try and get an advantage, which they've done, and now, given that they're quite confident and composed on the ball, quite happy.
I think if you're a Blackburn Rovers fan, though, you think, well, why not now try and get a 3rd and a 4th? You know, the crowd here is totally against the team. You know, let's just continue playing the way we have. They've definitely taken the edge out of the game, and it's just allowed Norwich to gain a tiny bit of confidence.
Yes, they could have compounded it. They might do here, actually, because Blackburn are coming forward with Britton just outside the penalty area on the far side. In it goes. Dolan turns into space. Left foot, right foot. Almost finds its way through to an unmarked Moran on the near side. Won back by Blackburn after Norwich give it away again. And still, the Canaries can't get possession of the ball inside their own half. And eventually, there's a foul by Sara midway inside Norwich territory. It's going to be a free kick for Blackburn. Player fouled was Sondre Tronstad. It's a bit too far out for a direct effort.
I would expect so, but that was nearly a beautiful little flick. I think it was from Moran, just looking to flick that in towards the path of his teammate. Great bit of football again from Blackburn, interchanging of positions, plenty of options for the player on the ball. Nearly, very nearly a gorgeous little flick.
Free kick then for Blackburn. 2.5 minutes to go to half time. 2-0 they lead. Lifted forward by Wharton to the far edge of the penalty area. James Hill is there. Not even challenged as he brings the ball down. Britton against Hernandez. Hill right in on that touchline on the far side, into the penalty area. Rankin Costello. You've got 3 defenders attacking down that far side. No wonder Norwich don't know what to do. Here's Dolan, completely free shot at goal inside the area, and he completely missed his kick. Norwich getting away with it there, and now looking to counter. Stacey on the halfway line. Be a good time for Norwich to get a goal back as we approach the interval. Sara's pass, though, strikes a teammate, and Blackburn have won it back again. Norwich can't retain possession at the moment. They were let off the hook there, weren't they?
They were. I mean, they thought that Callum Britton, the ball was going to go out of play, and he just hooked it back. Everyone was stood still except Tyrese Dolan, who sized it up and then just completely missed the ball. You can't blame the pitch anymore either.
Blackburn calmly working the ball inside the Norwich half. Norwich not really pressing at this moment. Blackburn quite happy just to play it around in the closing minutes of the first half. Some Norwich fans in front of us are heading for half-time refreshments. Might be the best thing they do today if it carries on like this. 2-0 Blackburn lead.
I think a few of the fans will just be gargling a bit of water ready for the booze at half-time. I think it'll be not very nice for the Norwich City players.
Well, it happened against Leeds at the end of the game when they let slip a 2-goal lead, and again at half-time and full-time against Middlesbrough. I was here for both games. In fact, the first half, Norwich were poor. There was a lot of misplaced passes. This game, they just seemed to be ill-disciplined in defence particularly, and open in midfield. Here's Hwang on the far side, just inside the Blackburn half, back to Duffy, and he's forced to go all the way through to Long, in for the injured Angus Gunn, who's been out for the last 2 or 3 weeks, since that Leeds game in fact. Norwich have got a few significant injuries. Grant Hanley has been out for some time. He's making his way back. Barnes should be back after the international break. Sargent, probably won't see him again until the new year. It certainly hasn't been helpful losing Sargent and Barnes.
No, both at the same time has really hit this Norwich City team. But still, you can't just use that as an excuse. You've still got to produce a better performance than this. I mean, defensively, you're right. It's been a shambolic performance defensively once again from Norwich.
2 minutes of additional time at the end of the half. We're into the first of them. Norwich looking to get back into the game, trailing by 2 goals. Hwang to the left. Yanulis loves to get towards the byline, but on this occasion, he got the final touch, and it's gone out for a Blackburn Rovers goal kick, which they'll be in no hurry to take. Blackburn have looked good, haven't they?
They have, yeah. They've looked organised, out of possession, and really, really bright and lively in possession. Been so impressed with Dolan and Schmodix in terms of their movement to cause the Norwich City backline problems, to draw the centre-backs out and then leave that space for the third man to run into.
What does David Wagner emphasise to his players at half-time? What does he do tactically, or possibly personnel change or two?
I mean, I said it early on, he could have brought Danny Bart on. I thought they need to shore up defensively. You cannot be as open as they have been. You've got to play with a little bit more caution. You just have when you're conceding the goals that they are, and build the play up a little bit more. I thought they needed to do that from the start of the game, and they didn't.
Duffy heads away, just the last few seconds of the first half, and it all eventually goes back through to George Long. I don't think it's wrong to say that when the whistle goes in about 10 seconds time, the Blackburn Rovers fans will be cheering their team, will probably get drowned out by the boos of the home fans. Right on cue, half-time at Carrow Road. Blackburn have a 2-goal advantage given to them by Tyrese Dolan, who scored after 8 minutes. And then 7 minutes later, Blackburn extended their lead through their captain and leading goal scorer, Sammy Schmodix. Norwich were all over the shop in defence for the opening 20 minutes or so. So both sets of players are on the field. No changes being made by either manager at the start of the second half. So the same 11s will get this game underway. You're listening to TalkSport 2 live from Carrow Road. EFL Championship football. Norwich City versus Blackburn Rovers. Blackburn leading by 2-0 at the break. Dolan and Schmodix with early goals in a very good first half performance against a fairly shabby first half performance defensively anyway from Norwich. So referee Josh Smith blows his whistle, and it's Blackburn through their captain Sammy Schmodix who get the second half underway. They are in blue and white halves, and straight away from the kickoff, Shane Duffy has taken out Tyrese Dolan, and now there's a bit of a scuffle between Rankin Costello and Duffy in the centre circle. Referee straight out with a yellow card to match Duffy's shirt. That's not a very good start to the second half, Dean.
No, I think Duffy's annoyed because he's gone in very firmly, won the ball, but I think the referee Josh Smith, and nowadays this is the case, if you then still follow through with the challenge and in an aggressive manner, which is what Duffy does. He follows through and he wants to catch Dolan. There's no doubt about that. But he'll say, well, it's a great challenge, and I've just caught him with my trailing leg.
So a yellow card for Duffy and a free kick for Blackburn, who are attacking the goal away to our right, the River End at Carrow Road, in their home kit. Norwich in their customary yellow and green, defending the goal away to our right in the sunshine on a cold day in the middle of Norfolk. And way outside his area is Leopold Wallstadt, but confidently Blackburn come forward and have it in the centre circle with Dolan. Moved out towards the far side now. Cut in. Dolan's made a run into the box. He won't get there, and Duffy will see that out for a Norwich City goal kick. How do Norwich get back into this game in terms of getting a goal? They didn't really offer a great deal in attack. A couple of fairly tame efforts on goal.
No, well, they've got Adamida on the bench if needed. Fastnack, Paheta. You know, attacking players that you could change things at the top end of the pitch. I think they lack physicality up there. Obviously, Wang's a good technical player, but has been out-muscled too often in that first half anyway.
Sarah for Norwich, midway inside the Blackburn half, is directly in line with where we're sitting. Over the top, Yanulis is in, and that happened in the first half. He may have taken his eye off the ball again, but he could have had that comfortably and even had a shot.
Yeah, he's got that ability, Gabriel Sara, hasn't he, of picking a pass. Lovely little floated left foot curler over the top for Yanulis. All it needs is a good touch. You're a professional footballer, it's not that difficult. Just took his eye off it.
Hill down the near side into the feet of Callum Britton. Lovely little ball with the outside of his right boot to find Moran. Blackburn in possession of the ball now, and then losing it. McLean got his foot on top of the ball. Eventually he's pulled down by Tronstad, and Norwich have a free kick right in front of us by the touchline. Trailing by 2-0. We've got 3 minutes or so of the second half past. We've got a lot of work to do to get something out of this game and avoid a third consecutive home defeat, which could leave them heading towards the relegation zone. Gabriel Sara will take this free kick with his left foot. All the players in line with the edge of the area. In it comes, low to the near edge, flicked on by Rowe. It wasn't a very good delivery from the Brazilian. And on the counter-attack now, Blackburn through their captain, Sami Szmodek, out to the left to find Dolan, heading towards the left edge of the penalty area. Dolan checks, comes in and then clips it over the top. Moran then squares it to the back post. It's 3-0 to Blackburn Rovers. Easy as that. It was so easy. It was like a training ground goal to the back post. And Szmodek's totally unmarked, not tracked by anybody in a yellow shirt, and Blackburn Rovers extend their lead at Carrow Road. 3.5 minutes into the second half. It's Norwich 0, Blackburn 3.
Absolute cakewalk for Blackburn Rovers. This is so easy. I mean, this comes from a Norwich free kick. It's just cleared in towards Szmodek's. He then finds his strike partner Dolan. Still no challenge from the Norwich area to all the way to the attacking area. It's just not good enough to go the whole length of the pitch pretty much without a challenge. Yellow shirts are back. There's 5 or 6 of them back against 2. They all go to the ball. Every single one of them goes to the ball, clipped over towards Moran. He then gets his head up. Szmodek is marginally probably offside, but he's totally free because everyone then follows the ball. This is schoolboy stuff, an embarrassment for Norwich City. Blackburn, though, absolutely clinical.
I mentioned after the second goal that Szmodek scored, the first goal that Szmodek scored, the second Blackburn goal, that Stacey was way out of position. Yanulis was on the wrong side of the field.
What I can't believe is how that ball is played in towards Dolan, and 5 Norwich City players all go and get drawn to the ball. So then there's just a completely free player on the right hand side in Moran. That's clipped across. They all follow the ball again, and it gets put to the back post and Szmodek taps it in. Doesn't get much worse than that defensively.
All credit to Blackburn. Sami Szmodek's 9th goal in the league this season on his return. He missed out the last game due to a knock, but he's on top of it, and Blackburn are well on top here on TalkSport 2, live from Carrow Road. Dean Ashton and myself, Mike Sewell. Smodix over the top. They're looking for a fourth goal here. Headed away by Norwich from the edge of the penalty area. Hwang can't keep it. Blackburn come back. They've got two over on the left here. Moran prods it through. It's a bit too far for Dolan. Suddenly Norwich stretched again. Left-hand angle of the area to the dead ball line, and Blackburn can't make anything of it. John Dal Thomason, who's watching his team lead 3-0, is getting furious for the pass there. We know he's a bit of a perfectionist, and he's very demanding.
Yeah, that definitely does frustrate managers, though, when you start to not show off, but you might do a back heel rather than just a simple pass, and I think that's probably what he's getting at there. If you have the chance to shoot or make a simple pass, do it quickly. Don't now think at 3-0 that we can take our intensity levels and quality down.
Blackburn again in possession of the ball inside the Norwich half. 6.5 minutes played at Carrow Road. Norwich 0, Blackburn 3. 2 early goals in the first half, 1 early goal in the second, 2 of them scored by Sammy Smodix, and things have not improved for Norwich. In fact, they've got worse in the second half, and it's just got better for Rovers, who could move up to 10th in the table. Still, the visitors have it. It's a long searching ball to this near side. It falls right into the body of Callum Britton. Gets a return pass on the angle of the penalty area, but he can't control it. Norwich have it with Nunez.
I mean, you look at this type of performance from Norwich City, and you would think you are watching a team that will battle relegation. There's no doubt about that from this type of performance from Norwich City. I mean, Blackburn haven't been incredible this season, but today they've looked magnificent because they've been allowed to, and they've taken full advantage. I've been very, very impressed with the way Blackburn have seized upon the lack of confidence in the Norwich side.
Norwich have now conceded 8 goals in their last 3 home games. Leeds, they lost 3-2. Middlesbrough, they lost 2-1, and they trail here 3-0, but they might be in here. Hernandez is away from his man, and he's been brought down by Scott Walton, who professes his innocence, but the referee is straight away giving him a red card. Scott Walton has been dismissed. Is that a clear goal-scoring opportunity?
Oh, he's through. Yeah, Hernandez is through. There's no doubt about it. Hernandez will be through 1v1. And it's just whether he's got a touch. Scott Walton feels as if he got a touch, but it certainly didn't deviate the ball enough. The ball was going through for Hernandez. So difficult decision for the referee, Josh Smith, as to whether there was any touch at all because of the way the ball just carried on going straight. But he is certainly the last man, Scott Walton. It was a bad bit of play from Blackburn, and he feels he got a touch on the ball, and he may have done. But Hernandez was onto it nice and quick, just tried to nip it away from Walton. And once you commit yourself in that sort of area and he went to ground, the referee has only really got that decision to make.
Walton's claiming he didn't make much contact on Hernandez, but he's trudged down the tunnel. Blackburn are down to 10 men. Norwich have a free kick around about 25 to 30 yards out, which Gabriel Sara and Marcelino Nunez are behind. Nunez goes straight for goal, but it's easy for Wallstedt. What do Blackburn do now? They have a 3-goal lead, but they only have 10 men.
I would assume because they were playing two up top in Smodix and Dolan, may be able to bring Dolan out wide and just leave Smodix through the centre of the pitch. They've got the 3-goal lead. I mean, if Norwich are going to have a chance at all of getting back into it, they'd be given a gift.
Yep. But they've got a lot of work to do to unwrap that gift and make it count, because they're 3 goals behind with 10 minutes played in the second half, but they're playing against 10 men. 25,696 are inside Carrow Road today. 429 have made the long journey across and down the country from Lancashire, and they at the moment are the happier of the 2 sets of fans. Norwich booed off at half-time, but they've got a chance now after Scott Walton's dismissal. You're listening to TalkSport 2, live from Carrow Road in the EFL Championship. Mike Sewell and Dean Ashton bringing you commentary. Coming up after the commentary here, we switch to the oval ball, the American oval ball that is. Miami Dolphins take on the Kansas City Chiefs in the NFL, live from Frankfurt with Will Gavin and Simon Clancy. That's from 2 o'clock. So pretty much straight after the game here at Carrow Road.
I just wonder whether this would be a good time actually for Wagner to make a couple of substitutions, really try and go attacking now and have a real go. You're at home, it certainly can't get any worse than this. Really have a real go at it.
Well, they've got Adam Eder, who's quick, and they've got the Przemysław Płacheta, who likewise is quick down the flanks. Would those be good options?
I would certainly be looking at putting another forward on alongside Hwang. There's no need to just have one up front anymore because of that extra player. Make it count. Make it count in the forward areas if you're Norwich City.
Blackburn have a free kick in front of us. Just having to regroup. John Dahl Thomason issued some instructions to Callum Britton just after Wharton made his way down the tunnel, having been sent off.
Yeah, Callum Britton has gone to left back, Pickering into a centre-back position and Rankin Costello over to a right back. So they have got players in their side, which has meant that's an easier transition maybe than some other teams may have found.
I tell you what, this would be a way of getting the fans back on side, mounting a comeback in this game, wouldn't it?
Well, it would, and sometimes it can take something such as that can just change the fortunes, and we can see just down to our right hand side there's definitely some movement on that Norwich City bench.
3 players are ready to come on. Just having a glance down there to see who might be introduced. Kellen Fisher is one of them. Norwich looking to get the ball off Blackburn, who have it inside their own half. Norwich pressing really hard outside the Blackburn area, and Wallstadt's under pressure from Kenny McLean. He hooks it to the near side. Hernandez brings it down quite in a fairly unorthodox manner. And now Blackburn try and come out of defence, and they do so. Tronstadt does really well there and feeds the ball out to the left. Warner calmly gets it before Schmodix can race down the flank. A triple substitution on the cards. In fact, it might be a quadruple substitution. I can see 4 players. Płacheta is one of them, so is Fisher. Fasnacht is also there as Norwich attack away to our left, trailing by 3-0 early in the second half. Yanulis, Sara, left edge of the penalty area, drives it across goal. It hits Jonathan Rowe. Hwang just outside the box on the rebound, curls it in, but not enough bend on the ball to wrap it inside the near post. And Norwich may well make this large amount of substitutions right now. There are 4 players preparing to come on. This big changes. He's doing what you said.
Well, to me it made sense. You've got the extra player, now you can change things. Good little break down the left hand side though from Sara. I think he's trying to shoot actually Sara here rather than trying to find Jonathan Rowe. He just tries to flash this across to that far post.
Right, Yanulis is off and Płacheta is on. That's a straight swap. Then Fisher comes on for Duffy. Stacey's also off, so Fisher will go to right back. Fasnacht is on. Hernandez has come off. And Borja Sainz is also coming on. Apologies, but they're all coming on really quickly. So 4 on, 4 off. The 4 coming in: Sainz, Fasnacht, Płacheta and Fisher.
Well, that is certainly attacking. I mean, you've taken off your centre-back, which means Kenny McLean's gone into a centre-back position. You've taken off your right-back for a younger version in Fisher, who played against Sunderland, had a tough time against Jack Clark, but they've almost got about 15 forwards on.
Well, they only have one recognised centre-back, a player who's making only his 2nd appearance in senior football, Jayden Warner. 4 centre-backs aren't playing. Gibson, Hanley, Duffy. As the cross comes in from Płacheta, early chance here, which Blackburn clear to the edge of their own area, but Norwich are really mounting it now. Left-hand edge of the box here, into the area. Hwang towards Płacheta, checks onto his right foot, looks to go back onto his favoured left, and he wins the corner. It's lifted the fans.
Well, it has. He brought on Poeta onto this left-hand side, who's just going to get forward now more than Giannoulis did.
3 words: make or break. Would that sum it up? The substitution.
But it made total sense, to be honest, to go more attacking. If I'm Adam Eder, though, I'm thinking, how have I not come on? I'm the only one who hasn't come on.
Well, Blackburn have got a problem now. They've already lost Scott Wharton because of the red card and have 10 men. And now Joe Rankin-Costello is limping off as Norwich take the corner from the near side, headed away by Hill towards the back post. Far side as we look. Blackburn are going to struggle to get out of their own half now, aren't they?
As they should.
Rowe to the edge of the area. Space here on the near side for Nunez. Has he got room for a shot? No. Good defensive work by James Hill as Rankin-Costello hobbles along. He's obviously pulled his hamstring on his right leg. John Dahl Thomason is desperate to get on his replacement. They're down to 9 men at the moment. He's furious. Thomason shouting at the 4th official who's trying to get the electronic scoreboard working. In the meantime, Norwich come forward, trailing 3-0. Rowe has pushed it through. Sainz can't get enough space. Desperation from Blackburn. It might be a long way back, but there's a lot of time left. A good half an hour for 11 against 10. Sara with the cross coming in. Oh, the goalkeeper's completely missed it as one of his defenders heads it away, and it's collected by Kellen Fisher on the far side. We're in for a grandstand finish.
We are. I mean, look, Norwich will obviously be desperate to try and get that first goal for them. Blackburn just trying to get to grips, actually, with the amount of changes and forward players that Norwich have got on the pitch.
9 men of Blackburn defending here. Pacheta on the near side, clips it in, great cross with his left foot, headed in, brilliant save by Wallstedt. Was Fasnacht rising on the edge of the 6-yard area with a towering header. He couldn't have done more, but that was a brilliant save.
Oh, he was, diving to his left-hand side. Wallstedt high up as well, made sure he got a really strong left hand to that. Brilliant play by Poeta on the left-hand side. He's been brilliant, actually, since coming on, clipping it to the back post. Fasnacht with a powerful header across the goal. Brilliant goalkeeping.
Norwich's best chance by far. Referee has issued a yellow card. Is that to Thomas?
I think so. He was so annoyed, wasn't he, with the fact he couldn't get a player on.
Well, Lewis Travis has eventually come on. Thomason is still arguing with the fourth official, and Norwich have a corner from the far side. Blackburn back to their, full complement. Their complement of 10. They've lost a player for a sending off. Sara with the in-swinging corner to the near post. Flicked on. Rowe tries an overhead kick and he couldn't connect. And Blackburn clear.
Well, I mean, it's another great chance, isn't it? It's a lovely flick from the corner from McLean just towards the back post. Rowe misses it. Sainz misses it. Hwang's waiting there. He's going to tap it in.
Long ball forward to Sara, and Wallstedt will pick that up. I mean, how the game has just, not in the terms of the score, but the way the game has gone, has completely turned on its head. Blackburn in control with the third goal, and the sending off has completely changed it.
I know, it was a massive decision, wasn't it, for Scott Wharton to make that challenge. I think you've got to let Hernandez go through. Hernandez hasn't scored a goal this season in the league. Let him go through and see if he can score and see if you can put some pressure on his attempt. Instead, he's made the challenge, that decision, and all of a sudden, and with the changes, it's just become chaotic.
But Blackburn are actually attacking now with their substitute, Travis, on the near side. 64 minutes played, Blackburn leading 3-0. You're listening to us live on TalkSport from Carrow Road. It's a fascinating contest now, and if Norwich's substitutions and the sending off can be exploited, then goodness me, we could be in for a really good finish to this game. But at the moment, Blackburn just need to calm the ship.
They're just trying to get to grips, like I said, with the amount of attacking changes for Norwich City.
Ball is still deep inside the Norwich half on the near side, way away from where we are. Blackburn, I think, I got a free kick. It's almost like a corner. It's going to be taken by Schmodix, who scored 2 of the 3 goals. He's on a hat-trick, but they might spend the rest of this game predominantly in a defensive mode, Blackburn. Thomason is now smiling. He's just calmed a little bit after that little ruckus with the 4th official. Schmodix wants options. Right-footed, he sends in a deep cross to the back post, headed in by Hill. Oh, it's a really good attempt by James Hill. It was a looping header. He spotted that Long was at his near post and he went for the far post.
Well, he's lucky actually, but I think it's Moran looking to come in and side foot that in from the header from Hill. But why is Hwang marking Hill from that set piece? That's just a mismatch.
Norwich on the attack on the near side with one of their 4 substitutes, Przemysław Płacheta, the Pole. He wins a throw-in. Norwich 0, Blackburn 3. Blackburn in complete control when Sami Szmodics scored early in the second half, but the sending off of Scott Wharton has changed that completely, and David Wagner has made 4 substitutions, very attack-minded substitutions, to the point where he's only got 1 recognised centre-back playing. Here's Kenny McLean up to the edge of the area. Good turn by Sainz. Excellent shielding by Hill to stop Sainz nipping it ahead of Wallstead.
Yeah, it's going to take a real team effort in this second half from Blackburn. So far, they've done very well just to try and have that organisation. Just leave Dolan up there or Szmodics up there. Just one player. Make sure you then got a solid defensive unit. Because of the amount of Norwich City attacks, you're going to have to just close the gaps.
Blackburn at the moment sit in 10th place in the Championship, just 3 points off the playoffs with this lead. But Norwich are desperately trying to loosen it. Great first touch from Fasnacht on the far side. It goes off a Blackburn play. In fact, Fisher's kept it in. No, he hadn't, but it is going to be a corner.
Yeah, it wasn't to know Fisher actually there, but brilliant take, wasn't it, from Fasnacht on that far side, over the top of his head, sticking out the right limb, controlling it with his toe. They just need the goal. That's the thing. They need the goal to really ramp up the atmosphere inside Carrow Road.
Sarr again with the in-swinging left footer. Goes a bit deeper this time. Headed out by Hill. Fisher's going to recycle it from the far side. We're at the midway point of the second half. Norwich 0, Blackburn 3. Forward by Nunez into the feet of Sainz. Now it's with Płacheta looking up and switching the play to the right with a lovely guided ball with the outside of his left foot. McLean. Norwich are looking fairly fluid now in their formation, like Blackburn were during the first half. Płacheta coming towards the near side, threads it down the line. Sainz picks it up on the edge of the area. Out to the wing again, Nunez. Infield to Sarah, 30 yards out, clips it towards the back post. Fisher rises, headers it down. Blackburn get there first. No one in the yellow shirt pounced. That was a good knockdown from Kellen Fisher.
Yeah, he won that well, didn't he, at the back post?
Now Sarah from the left with a cross. It's a really good delivery, but Wallstead's dropped it under pressure from Rowe, and the referee has favoured the goalkeeper, and both he and Rowe are down now. It's a free kick to Blackburn, and both medical teams are anxiously trying to get on the pitch. Wallstead and Rowe both flat on their backs.
Yes, it was a nasty collision in the end. Obviously totally committed from Wallstead, and actually Jonathan Rowe can't get out of the way. He's got his eyes on the ball also. It was a wicked delivery from Gabriel Sarra, arcing away, and as he just goes to collect it, the goalkeeper Jonathan Rowe's right there, can't get out of the way, and it's a horrible clash almost between both of the midriffs.
It's the kind of tackle you might see in American football when a player's trying to take the ball from the quarterback. And talking of American football, we have some NFL right after this game. Miami Dolphins against the Kansas City Chiefs, live from Frankfurt with Will Gavin and Simon Clancy. While we have this break in play, just let you know what's coming up on TalkSport over the next few days. Tottenham-Chelsea, a TalkSport exclusive, live tomorrow night from the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Sam Matterface and the former Tottenham midfielder Danny Murphy there with Adrian Durham. Tuesday night, 3 commentaries, 2 of them on TalkSport, an exclusive, Rotherham Ipswich in the Championship, preceded by Dortmund Newcastle in the Champions League, and on TalkSport, Celtic are at Atletico Madrid, all on TalkSport or TalkSport 2. We're here live at Carrow Road. Blackburn leading 3-0 and attacking down this near side there right. They're doing well to attack with 10 men at the moment.
Obviously, if Dolan and Szmodics can try and combine just a couple of times, just to try and take the pressure off their defence, because they are going to spend most of the game defending, but that's where your job is even more important, actually, now that you're down to 10 men as a forward.
Blackburn trying to keep the ball in near the corner flag, but Norwich win it. Bacheta into his penalty area for his captain McLean, then Sara very carefully working it across their own box, working it through defence, down the line on the far side, but cut out by Blackburn. Just under 20 minutes of the 90 to go. Norwich trailing 3-0 to Blackburn, who at the moment are heading into the top 10 in the Championship. Incidentally, if it stayed this way, Norwich would drop to 18th in the table, still 7 points above the relegation zone. They're coming forward on this near side, the left, with Borja Sainz, edge of the area, goes for the shot, blocked by Travis, falls for Sara, who doesn't connect, just sliced the ball, and it just squirms out with spin way away from goal.
This is where you need a little bit of nous in terms of you're playing against 10 players. It's even more important now that you play that extra pass, that you wait till it opens up, that you don't just let them off with a shot from outside the box. Okay, you might whip one into the top corner, but you've got to play the percentages. Get the width, get it wide, flash that across the box. That's where you're going to get your goals.
The ball is hanging on the halfway line. And Norwich have it. Rowe charging at the Blackburn defence towards the D, hooked away by Britton for a Norwich throw on the halfway line.
Yeah, Jonathan Rowe got into a more central striking role actually alongside Hwang since those substitutions. Sainz is the player that's gone wide.
Worth mentioning, on Wednesday night in the Champions League, TalkSport coverage from Copenhagen against Manchester United. As the cross comes in from Pochetta deep to the far post, no one there. Fastnack collects it, attacking that goal away to the left. In the closing quarter of this match, Hwang just outside the box to the right, kept in by Christian Fastnack, and then conceding the corner is Britton, who's sliding in. It's going to be another Gabriel Sara left-footed corner.
Yeah. Pochetta's been very good. Really simple though, just when he gets the chance, just pushes it and crosses it. Got the pace to do it. Brilliant delivery so far as well from him.
Sara takes, near post it goes. McLean couldn't reach it, Hill does and heads it away, only as far as Fisher. Back out to Sara on the far side. Fisher then offers up an overlap, the cross comes in from Sara. Again, another good defensive header by James Hill. He's been excellent this season.
He has. The young defender on loan has been superb, and he's going to need to be. He's the big presence in there when those deliveries come in, and that was another brilliant delivery by Sara. He can't do much more other than deliver those sorts of crosses.
Another corner from the near side this time, which Nunez will take. Plenty of yellow shirts up for it. It goes to the near post. I say it goes to the near post. It actually goes into the hoardings before the near post. It was that bad a corner.
Yeah, that's not good, is it? I mean, why not just go for the outswinging Sara if he's got the deliveries, which he has? Just go for an outswinger.
John Dahl Thomason and David Wagner, arms folded, watching for technical areas.
I'm surprised actually they've kept both Schmodix and Dolan on. It's almost like they have kept them on to play up there, which is a bold move if you're John Dahl Thomason. Normally, most teams, most managers would bring on another defender and help your defence out.
Well, given how shambolic Norwich were in the first quarter of the game, maybe he feels that they still have a chance to maybe get another goal.
Yeah, possibly.
Sara over the top to the near side to find Pochetta. I like Przemysław Pochetta. Every time I've seen him, he's been very effective down the left side. Here's Hwang, left edge of the box. Angles acute, so he tries to square it to Jonathan Rowe. It's cut out en route, and Norwich have yet another corner.
They've got to make one of these pay, though. They're getting into really good positions and either not finding the pass or picking the wrong option. They shoot rather than passing, or pass rather than shooting. They've got to get this right.
Here comes the outswinger from Gabriel Sara.
No surprise.
They heard you. Norwich trailing by 3-0 with 15 minutes plus stoppage time left. Referee Smith wants a word with Schmodix and I think it's Borja Sainz, who are both standing in front of Leopold Wallstadt Wallstedt in the Blackburn goal. Sara then with the corner. They're bunched up on the edge of where the penalty spot is. The ball comes out, it's fired in with plenty of venom by Marcelino Nunez, but Blackburn defend it, as they have done in the last 10 minutes, really well.
Yeah, that's what you're going to need to do. It was a brilliant strike though, wasn't it? That's where he should be, really, on the edge of the box rather than taking the set play. Clearly, Nunez, brilliant strike. That's what you got to do. Blackburn now, that's going to be the job, is to make blocks, win headers.
As much as John Dahl Tomasson wouldn't have wanted to be in this situation, if they come through this, he'll be so happy with the way his team played in the first half from an attacking sense and a defensive sense in the second, won't he?
Well, I think it breeds confidence, sure, certainly for your team and your defensive unit. Shows a different side to Blackburn's play.
Here come Norwich though, edge of the penalty area. Nunez gets the shot away through a crowd of players, but it goes wide of Wallstedt's right-hand post. Norwich are having the chances, they're having the ball in dangerous areas, but they just cannot find a way back into the game.
No, that was very congested on the edge of the area. I don't know how Nunez got the ball through in the end, but it opened up for him. He had a pass to his left. He could have got his head up, which would have been the better option. Instead, he tried to shoot, got it all wrong. He was too straight on, and when you're straight on, very difficult to strike the ball straight, which is why he pulled it to the left.
You're listening to TalkSport 2, live from Carrow Road. The voice you just heard is that of former Norwich striker Dean Ashton, watching Norwich 0, Blackburn 3. Blackburn will actually be another TalkSport 2 exclusive on Friday night against Preston. Lancashire derby, presented by Hugh Wozencroft, commentary from Joe Shannon and Courtney Sweetman-Kirk. Norwich have it with Pacheta on the near side, down the line for Sara, crossed in low, headed up by Hill. It's still hanging in the area. Rowe brings it down very well, plays it through. Signs walk straight into Hill, and Blackburn clear again. He's going to need some nous here from Norwich to try and get a breakthrough, because the one goal would be a huge lift, wouldn't it?
It would, yeah. I mean, you'd prefer to have got it sooner than this. They probably had the opportunities to as well. Blackburn defended very, very well, I have to say.
McLean prods it through. It's too strong for Signs. It runs on and out for a goal kick. Plenty of expectation when the sending off of Wharton happened and the mass substitutions, but it's kind of lost a little bit of momentum, hasn't it?
Yeah, you can sense it even in the stands, can't you, that they thought early on with those changes and the opportunities that they had, if you get a goal there, it builds and builds, and that's what you needed. And if they don't score now against 10 players with the changes that he's made, actually then it feels even worse.
Free kick for Blackburn, right in front of the dugouts. Actually watching a fair few Norwich fans leaving now. We've got, I would say, at least 15 minutes to go, and some of them are headed for the exits already, in the belief that they won't get back into this game. I think it's a bit presumptuous, don't you?
It is. Do you not remember Norwich City 4, Middlesbrough 4?
Which was it your debut?
It was my home debut, yes.
And you scored, didn't you?
I did, and at that point it didn't look like we were getting back into it. All it does take is that one goal.
Was that 4-1 down? Were you 4-1 down?
Yes.
Yeah. Adam Drury got the late equaliser.
He did, yeah. That felt a similar atmosphere. Not a great one. What a ball.
Over the top for Hwang to chase. It's going to go all the way through to the goalkeeper, though. It was a good ball.
It was. He just needed to try and control it rather than letting it bounce and skidding off the surface. It was a really decent ball over the top, though.
That game against Middlesbrough, was it something like 18 years ago?
Oh, don't.
I think it was.
Don't.
I looked it up when I came to do the Middlesbrough game, because it was actually shown on the screen before the match.
18, wow.
I think it was 18 years ago. Well, you were only here, what, a year and a half? So it must have been 18 years ago. Dean Ashton on TalkSport 2, watching his former club losing 3-0 at the moment to Blackburn Rovers. Long ball upfield. McLean back as a left centre-back. Certainly very comfortable on the ball, Kenny McLean. He's really nice to watch. Sainz on the halfway line, brought down by Travis. He's not happy, Borja Sainz, who lashes out at the Blackburn substitute. Not a good reaction, unnecessary from Borja Sainz.
Yeah, silly, very, very silly. Probably lucky that he didn't catch Travis, any higher, anywhere near the face. It was more just a sort of shrugging the arm off, but caught Travis on the hip.
Norwich have the free kick nonetheless on the halfway line, taken short, moved into the centre circle, now out to the far side, the right, where Hwang guides it to Fisher. Fisher steps in, back it goes to Nunez, and now the captain, McLean again. Norwich are running out of time here, but they're having most of the ball. Hwang prods it through. Blackburn defending in vast numbers in the central area are doing a very good job with 10 men.
Again, I don't understand that. I do not understand how you would try and go through the middle when all the space is out wide. You know, get the ball wide and flash that across. It's too congested in the middle.
3-0, Blackburn lead. Pacheta on this near side, the Norwich left. Back to McLean. Now Sara, who's on this near side as well. Deft little chip into the penalty area, which doesn't reach Signs. Back it goes to McLean again. It's going to be one heck of a comeback if Norwich get anything out of this game. They've got a little over 10 minutes to score 3 goals. Sara. Fasnacht now, carefully working it out to the far side, their right. Fisher for Sara again, forced to come backwards and square. Not making a great deal of progress at the moment, Norwich. Rowe has it. Everyone in a blue and white shirt is behind the ball at the moment. In fact, they're all in and around the penalty area. Now it's going to be Sara on his right foot, who drives it in. It takes a deflection off a Blackburn player. I think it was Britton. It's another corner to Norwich City.
It is. I didn't think that was the right decision, though, from Sara, hitting it with his weak foot. Almost got lucky with that deflection off Britton, almost into his own goal, and a corner for Norwich City. Another wicked in-swinger from Gabriel Sara.
From the far side, the Brazilian takes it. Again low to the near post. Down goes Kenny McLean on the 6-yard area. A few Norwich fans close to the incident claiming a penalty, but none of the Norwich players did. Now from the right, the cross from Nunez. Headed out by Adam Wharton, younger brother of the now departed Scott Wharton, who was sent off, and it changed the complexion of the game. Not the result or the scoreline, but the actual game, the way it was going. Rowe now, right edge of the area. Fisher on the overlap, goes towards the byline. He's brought down by Schmodix. It's a free kick to Norwich, just outside the penalty area. But it's an acute angle, and it will no doubt be a cross from Sara again.
Yeah, just couldn't stop his momentum, Sammy Schmodix, as he went over there to try and help his team and defend against Fisher. He was just clever enough to wait long enough to then just push the ball past Schmodix. Another chance here from Sara. I would always see, though, can you produce something clever when you've got a free kick so close out wide to the penalty area? Can you work something to the edge of the box?
2 men in the Blackburn wall. Sara drives it into the near post. Wallstedt forces it away with both fists, and then Dolan in desperation just hammers it towards the halfway line and into touch. 84 minutes played. Norwich 0, Blackburn 3. Schmodix with 2 goals, Dolan with the other, who got proceedings underway, in complete control until the sending off of Scott Wharton. And Norwich have been in possession of the ball ever since, but they just cannot break through. Nunez out to Sara on the right. Fisher waits by the touchline. Sara comes infield, then clips it over the top for Pacheta, asking far too much of the pole. And you have to argue, Norwich don't seem to have the nous.
They've had opportunities, and when I say opportunities, I mean in areas where there's a chance to put in a good ball or a chance to have a decent effort on goal, but they actually haven't. They haven't created good, clean, goal-scoring opportunities. I mean, they've only had 2 shots on target in this second half, considering how long they've had against 10 players. Again, it's just another worrying side to Norwich's trend at the moment.
Trailing 3-0 to Blackburn. More fans of the Norwich persuasion are leaving. David Wagner sits on the bench. His future is in question. It was before the game. It will be even more so after the game, unless his team mount a miraculous comeback in the last few minutes of this match. The ball is on the far side for Norwich, to the edge of the area. Fisher's come forward, cuts the ball back. It's fairly straightforward for Hill to clear into touch.
How can you be trying to get back into the game? Long ball out wide to Fasnacht, played into Fisher, the right back. He crosses. How can you have 2 players? How can you have 2 players in the box? That's just unacceptable.
Signs being put under pressure in midfield by Tronstadt. Blackburn have defended exceptionally well since going down to 10 men. Hwang, midway inside the Blackburn half, very central, towards the left now. Sara tees up a drive, which he pulls a bit, and the ball sits inside the penalty area, and eventually there's a foul on Wharton to the frustration of the home fans. It's a free kick to Blackburn, who are going to make a double substitution just to break up the play a little bit. Not waste minutes, because the time will get added on, but it just affects the momentum, or any momentum that Norwich might have.
Yeah, and just freshens up probably that defensive unit with players that can get around the pitch a little bit quicker. The players will be tired out there now for Blackburn. Got to say, James Hill's been outstanding, 21 years old. You know, his centre-back partners left the field. He has been brilliant. He's won every header. He's got himself into a great defensive position. I've been really impressed with him.
So with a 3-goal advantage in the closing minutes of this game, Blackburn are going to make 3 substitutions. The man that scored 2 of the goals, Sammy Smodix, is coming off. He's going to be replaced by Harry Leonard. That's the first of the 3 substitutions. And this will only frustrate Norwich and their fans even more. There are large pockets of yellow and green seats now appearing around Carrow Road as the other 2 players come off. One of them is Adam Wharton. Didn't get a shot of the other one who was coming off. Andrew Moran, and the 2 players coming on are Jake Garrett and Arnor Sigurdsson. We're into the final 3 minutes of the game. 3-0 Blackburn lead on TalkSport 2, live from Carrow Road. NFL coming up next. The Miami Dolphins against the Kansas City Chiefs, live from Frankfurt in Germany. Norwich take a quick throw in on the far side. In it goes to Nunez. Waits. Not much movement. Looks towards this near side. McLean has it now. Sara. Pochetta's waiting on this touchline. Looking for an option. No one really showing themselves. Dart of a run by Signs on the edge of the area. That's it, really. And Norwich are going backwards, not forwards. Time is running out. McLean. Pochetta waits again. Blackburn really doing well. They're following Norwich around the pitch, cutting out the space, shutting down the avenues. Pochetta into Nunez now, in centre field. Back from Fastnacht to Nunez again. Fastnacht looking towards the far side, and Fisher. Still Norwich can't deliver the ball or have a shot on goal. Warner eventually crosses in, Rowe goes up, but it's so routine for Wolstead.
But again, that's just frustration there. Warner feeling like he needs to get it in the box. When you don't, you've got to work it faster, out wide, switch play quickly, try and pull the Blackburn defence out of position. If you just slowly play it around each other, they can just shuffle across and it makes it easy for them.
Norwich, by the end of the game, Norwich will have played for 40 minutes against 10 men, and they haven't been able to break through once, let alone 3 times. And Blackburn are coming forward now with a couple of their substitutes. Olays from the Blackburn fans, the 430 or so have made the trip. What a great trip back that will be to Lancashire if they hold out here. A really good victory. They won here last season twice. They're about to do it again, and they're coming forward. Could they even add a 4th goal here? Sigurdsson plays it into the back post, and they almost do. Desperation in the Norwich defence, and I think it was Tyrese Dolan coming in. There was a slight touch from a Norwich player. Had that player not touched the ball, Kenny McLean, that would have been 4-0.
Yeah, it would have been. It was a brilliant ball from Sigurdsson on the left-hand side. Just plays it right across, right behind the defensive line. Kenny McLean diving with his right foot, gets a touch on it just to take it away from Dolan, who would have had a tap in. But it's a Blackburn corner.
A right-wing corner which is taken short just to waste time, and it's been played right to George Long in the end. We are now about to move into, as I wait there for the electronic board, 6 minutes of added time, but a lot of the Norwich fans have already left because they feel there's absolutely no hope of scoring 3 goals in 6 minutes. Hwang clips it to the far side, and Fastnacht, who had the best chance, that powerful downward header that was well saved by Wolstead. Aside from that, and bar the possession that they've had, they've just not done enough.
No, they haven't. They just haven't created that clear-cut chance. That wasn't a clear-cut chance, really. It was just a great leap from Fasnacht and a really good header and a good save. But they just haven't got the ball wide enough, flashed that across the box. But let's give credit to Blackburn. I think they've defended with 10 players very, very well. You know, they haven't opened up. They've been nice and compact and fully deserve, actually, the victory today. I've been very impressed, considering how young their team is and what Jan Thomason's trying to do with the side, and they've got their own injury worries themselves. Very, very impressive.
Norwich have the ball again, as they have had. Pochetta's into the area on the left edge here. They're all storming forward. Walsnack with the save. The rebound is tucked home by Gabriel Sara. But is it too little, too late? Norwich get a goal back. It's now Norwich 1, Blackburn 3, but we've only got 4.5 minutes of added time left.
Yeah, and it just looked like a tired Tyrese Dolan playing right back now. Ball in behind him. But Pochetta, who's been excellent since coming on down that left-hand side, he just absolutely hammers it across. All that Wolstead can do is just parry it out. Gabriel Sara's there to just tap home. I mean, this would be daft if they were to give themselves a chance now.
He scored away at Blackburn in April. He scored here now, but it might mean absolutely nothing unless Norwich, well, if they scored a second very quickly, who knows? There are plenty of occasions we've seen turnarounds. You only have to look back, as we all do, to the 1999 UEFA Champions League final when Manchester United came back to beat Bayern Munich at the death. But we've already had 2 of the 6 minutes of added time, and Blackburn have a throw-in, or is it a free kick on the far side of the field?
Yeah, it was just a loose touch from Warner and then gave the free kick away. Let's be honest, it's a consolation for Norwich. You know, that was a big opportunity when Scott Wharton got sent off. They just haven't made the most of it.
Norwich on the brink of an 8th league defeat in their last 11 league games. The win against Birmingham here at the end of September, the last day of September, it seems a long, long time ago. They picked up 1 point during October, and they're going to start November without any, whereas Blackburn are going to head into the top 10 with this win. 3 minutes of added time play. Norwich trail 3-1, and they're coming forward with Kenny McLean. You're listening to us on TalkSport 2. NFL to come after this. McLean has it again. Time is of the essence here. McLean, right-footed, into the channel, a reverse ball which Pochetta can't keep in. And John Dale Thomason is desperately telling his players just to get in there, make a tackle. I think his team have done enough.
They have, because they've made Norwich force things, and when you tend to do that, you find it difficult. Travis gets a booking just for for throwing over.
Just wasting a bit more time. James Hill will take it from deep inside the Blackburn half in the corner flag. Bright sunshine at Carrow Road now. But that's for the Blackburn contingent, not the home contingent, because the boos are going to ring around Carrow Road again, and they're going to drown out the cheers of the away fans in around about 2 minutes' time.
Yeah, that's not going to be forgotten, is it? That first half performance, and that, you know, put the results aside, the performances in recent weeks for Norwich have been terrible, especially defensively.
Jaden Warner has played all right, considering the team have conceded 3 goals.
I mean, he looked lost in that first half, but since Norwich have got a hold of the game and the red card, he's been more composed.
Pochetta heads a long ball down into the feet of Sara on this near side. Pochetta then ducks in field. Just over a minute left of added time. Clipped in by Nunez to the back post. Headed away straight to Hwang, who brings it down. Left foot shot. Oh, Walstead can't hold it. Norwich try the rebound. They get it into the 6-yard area where there's a huge gaping goal to aim at. But desperate defending by Callum Britton to clear the ball away.
Oh, and you just think if they could have got that in, Norwich would have made for a fascinating last minute or so. Brilliant save by Wolstead. Through bodies, took a deflection, managed to get a hand on it, and then again, desperate but excellent defending from Blackburn just to make the blocks.
They've been superb in defence since they went down to 10 men early in the second half. We are now into the last minute of added time. Norwich need 2 goals. Unless the referee adds another minute or 2, it's not going to happen. McLean turns, plays it back to the touchline here. Pacheta with the cross, a good curling cross which Britton gets ahead to. Heads it out only as far as Warner. The Norwich fans urging Warner to shoot from 40 yards out. Eventually there is a shot from distance by Marcelino Nunez, which takes a deflection, I think off a Norwich player, and goes out for a goal kick. And I think that might be the last action of the game.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's a decent effort, but at this period of the game when you need to score, that isn't the right option. Too often in this second half they've picked the wrong option, Norwich. Okay, it gets an ooh and an ah from the supporters, but it's not what you need in that moment.
Leopold Wallstedt is about to take this goal kick. We've had the 6 minutes, and the referee blows his whistle to a crescendo of boos inside Carrow Road.